Life's an adventure, gotta ride the wave. These kids be wildin' like they just escaped the cave. Cutting through the chaos sharper than a knife. Got me laughing out loud, that's just the vibe of life. We keep it moving through the highs and the lows. Life be life and this is true, oh man. Them kids cutting up like Edward Scissorhands. Job in the south, got you running, no time for you. You complaining about life, well I got one too.
We losing?
Juggling these deadlines like I'm in a circus show. My boss be watching, but never seems to know. Stops in the kitchen, cooking up some plans. But who's really chopping?
I'm still here.
Hands? We laugh it off, yes, we don't take the bait. Ooh. Life be life, and this is true, oh man. Them kids cutting up like Edward Scissorhands. Job in the south, got you running, no time for you. You complaining about life, well, I got one too. So keep on shining, stay true and brave. Life's too short, enjoy each wave. Life be life and this is true, oh man. Them kids cutting up like Edward Scissorhands. Job in the south, got you running, no time for you. You complaining about life, well I got one too. So keep on shining, stay true and brave. Life's too short, enjoy each wave.
Life be life.
Life be life. Welcome to another episode of What's the Word Wednesdays. Check and tell me if we live in the group. This thing be tripping.
I'm looking, but I don't see it.
We don't see it. We're probably live in YouTube simultaneously right now. I can't see the tickets on that neither. While I'm fixing the technical difficulties, Mr. Lillard.
Uh-oh.
Give the announcements, Mr. Lillard, while we're working on the technical part.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Welcome, everybody. This is Roger the Dodger, Lillard Rogers Nugget time, announcement time. Of course. Welcome to What's the Word Wednesday. Got next to me my main man. Well, I'll let him share who he is after I finish these announcements real quick. So, first and foremost, each and every single Sunday at 8 p.m., you want to jump right here in this group with Mr. Preston Scott, 4-star director, Ruby Ringware, and $250,000 earner, provides us with the game plan Zoom. You don't want to miss that. If that's the one ironclad event that you don't want to miss, is that particular one. Also, each and every Thursday night, if you're here in the DMV, you want to make sure that you attend the weekly meeting, right? The meeting, you need a meeting, and meeting needs you. I tripped up on that, but guess what? Y'all know what I mean. So that starts at 6:45 training, 7:15. It is over, 7:30. The orientation starts. Done by 8:30, and you're home by 9, in the bed by 9:30. So don't want to miss that on Thursdays. Also coming up, we have our Super Saturday in Tyson's Corner. We have several six-figure earners coming up. I think we have LeVon and Thornton coming up. I believe Mr. Preston Scott's going to be there and some other folks. Tickets still available, so you want to get your tickets for that as well. And I'm sure Eric will type it in there, the link to get your tickets. Or it's in your back office. Go to your back office and get your ticket. What else we got coming up, Daryl?
Baltimore weekly meeting or bi-weekly meeting. What is it, first and third Tuesdays?
There you go. Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir. Be there or be square.
And the first meeting, yes, it was fire. I'm telling you, Baltimore is on fire. It was loaded. Again, no excuses, man. We got meetings on both ends of the Beltway. You definitely want to attend that event, and let's help it grow to a weekly meeting as well. Anything
Absolutely.
else there?
9-year anniversary celebrations are kicking off. October is the month, so find one near you and get to one.
All right, and last but not least, convention. Get your ticket. I'm telling you, get your ticket ASAP because it's going to sell out. There was 6,000 representatives in the building this past year, and there's already 5,000 tickets sold this year, right? I think there's room for 7,500. So get your ticket ASAP. And I believe that is it.
Lastly, our Platinum Anniversary Awards, December 7th, Oxon Hill at the Harborside Hotel. Only a few tickets remain, probably less than 25 tickets. If you have not purchased yours, definitely come out and celebrate our anniversary with Planet Marketing, as well as seeing all of your sideline business partners receive an award for work that they've done over the year. And who knows, you might be.
Back to you, Mr. E. Cliff.
Well, we are live in YouTube right now, and in a second, as soon as something gets updated, we'll be live back in the Platinum Network. Ladies and gentlemen, today's topic. Well, first of all, let me again welcome. My name is E. Cliff, one of the amazing directors with this opportunity, and we are doing our very best on this show to try to motivate you, encourage you, inspire you, lift you up, give you some practical everyday nuggets that you can use for your business. Listen, we appreciate you and your partnership. Coming out after this amazing convention, getting ready for what we would call an amazing holiday season. We want to help you guys before you get caught up in the holidays, right? Not the holidays, but the holidays where people be stuck like a deer in headlights, don't know what to do. How do I continue to grow and improve my business, especially with lifing, right? So we're going to talk to you today about how to continue growing and thriving and building your business while life be lifing, eliminating these excuses that we have for holding us back. Because as Mr. Scott said one time, and what's the opposite of lifing, right? Deafing, right? Which you're either taking advantage of lifing, right? Or you got the opposite side of that. So before we jump deep into it, you guys go ahead and give us your thoughts on what comes to mind when you hear a person say, "Man, life be lifing."
Well, first and foremost, I mean, we all have lifing, you know. Like you said, I mean, if life is not lifing, then it means you're not doing much. You know, if you are going to work every day, if you got children, kids got homework, football practice, violin practice, you know, we all have that going on in our life. And so, and at the end of the day, we definitely understand that and we respect that. However, though, you know, with that being said, you have to have something in place or a schedule in place for your business while life is life, and so it's structured. So you're not all over the place. And what's happening is, you know, we're not scheduling time for a business, and we allow life to be lifing that overtakes, you know, what we have in our business. Like we all are in this to either make money, book and travel, or building a network, or both. And so if you're not making any money, right, it's because you're allowing what you focus on expands. So the people who are making the money, their focus is on making money, whatever niche they found within their business. And so that's what I have on my heart. I just think that, you know, you have to have your business has to be our priority, right? In your day, in your week, in your month, in your year. And you might know how much money you want to make for yourself to make it worth the time, because at the end of the day, we don't want to give up some of those things. And I'm a victim of that. I'm going through some stuff myself right now because life happens to everybody. And if it ain't happening, like Eric said, it ain't happening no more. So I'll let Daryl jump on that. I know you got some nuggets over there, Mr. Two Jackets.
Yeah, you know, Roger, when I listen to people give excuses about all that's going on in their life, I often bring them right back to traditional business ownership, right? I have a business partner who has a traditional storefront business, and I often tell them, no matter what she feels, how she feels when she wake up, the property manager of that shopping center doesn't want to hear that she doesn't feel well, therefore she can't make her payment, right? She still has to do the business, whether she feel like it or not. That's a traditional business owner responsibility. And I get that, life happens to everybody. It happens at different degrees, right? Some of us, when I push people to convention because you start to hear those stories from other people. And those stories, when you think about what you're given as an excuse for why you can't get where you're supposed to be, and then you hear their stories and you like, damn, mine ain't half as bad as what theirs are. So I always tell people, there's somebody who has a greater problem than you do. And the reality is when you think about it, you can only control in life what you can control. You can't control nothing no more. If you could, there wouldn't be an issue. So instead of us trying to worry about what we're going through, try to figure out how do we resolve it, and then what else? What other pieces to our life do we have to pick up that still has to function, even though we're going through it? Somebody wise said that you want life to happen to you, otherwise you'll be dead. So if you don't have life in, you're no longer living. And so you want those things to happen because now you're fighting to get through them as quickly as possible. Engineer E over there, back to you.
Yeah, we still hear this thing getting on my nerves. But and look, life be life, and right now while we doing this daggone Zoom, but we still gonna do what we got to do because I can tell still that there are people who checking us out. Listen, let's break down a couple of the things that we as leaders hear. So we're not going to just leave you with the excuse or the part of life that be life and as an example and say figure it out. We're going to bring forth a couple or 2-3 of those examples of what we're hearing in the industry that's happening to people, and then we're going to talk about what's the workaround, what's the solution. We are professional problem solvers, right? Life happening to you is happening to me too. What do you do when X, Y, and Z happens? How do you make it through? No, every answer we give you is not going to be the perfect match for your situation at home. But eat the chicken, throw away the bones. What you can use for you, use it for you. So, Mr. Little, what comes to mind? Somebody that told you life was life, and they're talking about a specific situation. So, what's one of those specific situations that can be a hindrance for someone trying to build this business? And listen, it doesn't matter what side of the business you're on. ITA only, rep only, do a combination of both. There's some things that are hindering folks from growing their businesses successfully, especially some things getting ready to come up over this holiday. So speak to one of those things and how we can help solve that problem.
Yeah, I just this is good because we just got back from a blackout up in Philadelphia, and Mr. Bradley, our CEO, founder, if you're brand new, and he talked about, you might be in a situation where you're married and you're excited about the business and your spouse might not be excited about it. They're not interested, but you are. So you have to find a way to have a buy-in because you're excited about it. And so, you got to set some parameters for your business, because one thing that we know that we have parameters for our job. So we have to have parameters for our business. So, you want to buy in. Mr. Bradley said his first 2 years in business, he got the buy-in from his family that, he's going to miss some birthdays. He's going to miss some celebrations. But at the end of the day, in that buy-in, you got to go out and get it, though. Like, you got to be realistic about your business, and you got to be focused to go out and get it. Like, you got to grind whatever time frame you have for your buy-in, whether it's 90 days, whether it's 6 months, whether it's a year or 2 years. You want to make sure, like you said, when we out hunting, you got to come back with the venison. You can't leave out and come back with nothing. And this is some of the things that he talked about on Saturday. So, sit down with your family, have a buy-in. This is what you're going to be doing in your business. And then you need to get everyone to understand this, whether it's your wife, kids, family. This is what you're going to be doing, because I'm going through that right now where I'm sacrificing not doing this. I'm sacrificing not doing that until I do this. And so, but have a time frame on your buy-in, right? And go for it. And if you don't hit it, then guess what? You can go back to the table and say, this is what I have in place right now. That way you're keeping everyone in the know in your circle exactly where you're headed in your business. And then watch this, within that time of that time frame, you want to have some stories, because if you haven't got a story yet, you can tell your family. My business partner, Mr. Daryl Jenkins, booked the trip one time, right? He's part-time in the business, made $42,000. You might not book a trip that big, but at least they have a story told that there is some real money on the table in this business. Back to you, Daryl.
Yeah, you know, that's a good point. I think that and it's kind of twofold, because there's people who work in this business that don't have to get the buy-in of other people. They got to get their own buy-in, right? I think, you know,
Ooh.
to some degree, they have to hold themselves accountable, right? When you and I have these coaching conversations with individuals inside my organization, and we talk about, you know, what their goals are, and when they don't hit them, what are they going to sacrifice? What is going to be their punishment for not hitting their goal that they set for themselves in that time frame? At some point, it's your business. So what you do or don't do determines if it materializes or not. So now you have to take ownership of that, right? When you can't get yourself across that threshold to goal builder or to director in training, or even scoot right on into that 1-star spot, what are you going to take away until you get it done? What's going to be your sacrifice? Maybe you can't travel, or maybe you can't have that drink of choice, or maybe you can't go hang out with the fellas if that's your thing. You know, maybe you can't, you know, so you got to figure out how you're going to punish yourself for not going hard enough for you. And for those of you who talk about, you know, I'm grinding for my family, I'm trying to leave something. When your work ethic don't match that, the conversation is great, because you do need to have a conversation with your family. Some of us start this business and never have a conversation about what it is we're doing, why we're doing it, who we're doing it for, with the people that matters the most. So when they see you up on 7 Zoom calls a day, or over in your little home workspace, and you got your list going, they don't understand what it is you're doing. And to them, it feels like you're neglecting your family duties because you're always off doing something. You got to have a conversation so that the conversation makes sense, right? So that they then understand, okay, on these days or during these hours, I'm going to be doing X, Y, and Z. And here is the expected outcome for what you see me participating in. I'm working towards leaving this for the family should anything ever happen to me. And we talk about life, and there's people who may have underlying health issues and don't know when their next day is going to be. There's people like, you know, I swear every time I look around, somebody else is gone. And you like, dang, I just seen them, or just, you know, was just thinking about them. You never know when that day is going to be. So if you're thinking that you got time to get across that threshold to leave that legacy, that's one piece. But then letting them know that this is why you're doing it, because you just never know when your day is going to come.
You just never know when. So I'm hearing people often apparently using the family as. So I'm hearing you say the family is the obstacle. Family. Now that's an interesting one. So life be life, and the family becomes the obstacle. The family, the very same reason, kids included, the some of those people are the very same reasons why we bought, or you bought, this opportunity. I'm doing it for my family. I'm doing it for my kids. But then when Mr. Bradley's in town, the millionaire earner showing people how to become successful in this industry, our kids or our family become this very same thing that's stopping our blessing, right? My suggestion, on top of getting buy-in, goes right back to your why, writing your why down, making sure that this is deep enough for you to actually make some moves. Mr. Little talked about sacrificing. So this means how do we continue building and growing our business during the time frames in which life is life, and we have to be willing to make a sacrifice. And keeping it real, most people just don't want to make the sacrifice. They just don't. It's a lot easier to not do this, and it's a lot easier to look your kids in the face and say, you know what, I'm going to be at that basketball game. I'm going to be at that birthday party. Even though you ain't but 2, you ain't going to remember this joint 4 years from now. but we gonna do all we so now the whole I can't make it to the Super Saturday. They call Super Saturdays for a reason. The suggestion is that we start sacrificing so that the business doesn't become what's being sacrificed, and then in the long term, the people that you say you bought this business for ultimately becomes a sacrifice. So the child that you bought the business for long term and leave legacy for, they all become the sacrifice because you and I, couldn't decide to sacrifice. You know what? LaVonda Thornton said just this past weekend, and if you guys don't know who LaVonda Thornton is in the industry, I suggest you guys look her up, Google her, ask your sponsor, who is LaVonda Thornton and what is she doing? But just to give you a tidbit, she has presently or currently sponsored the most individuals, right? She sold the most travel agencies independently of over 1,000 travel professionals she had sold this opportunity to. And she's still pushing. She said, look, I told my kids and my family that I'm canceling that cruise that we had planned for my birthday coming up. This is what she was doing in light of trying to obtain the next goal, that next level that she was hungry for. You got to make some sacrifices. And it starts with her. She said, I am canceling the birthday cruise. Then she said, look, I just won't be there because I'm canceling the birthday cruise. You got to sacrifice some things. Look, what else do we hear often, fellas, as a reason life is life? And what's one of the things that go on in the network marketer / travel agent's life that holds them up from something?
I
right?
got a big one.
Learning more, holding them up from coming to an event, holding them up for getting new business partners, getting new clients. What's holding them up?
I got a big one. And actually, and this big one that I have, I'm going through it as we speak. So we have friends in our circle that they've been friends for 10, 15, 20 years. They ain't booking no travel from you. And watch this. And they won't even partner with you. But because you've known them for a long time, you're still hanging around them. And so I had to make a decision. Like, I'm spending time around people where, and I care about them as friends. They are my friends, but I'm not hitting my goals. So that time I'm spending with them, I could be spending with someone who's hungry in the business and helping them grow, right? I could be spending time out marketing my business, helping me grow, right? I could be spending time learning the business, whether it be travel or becoming a better marketer with Planet Marketing. So I took the liberty, myself and my son, and I'm a huge Steelers fan, and I love sports. And sports ain't paying me right now. So I went to Philadelphia because I knew Bradley was going to be there. I just needed to something to break the monotony of me going to the bar and watching the games. And like Daryl said, one of the things that, I'm giving up is I'm not drinking. Now, listen, I don't drink every day. I'm a social drinker. But at the same time, like, I only drink when I'm with them. So I'm spending money, I'm drinking, and really I'm wasting time just to watch the Steelers play. Guess what? The NFL ain't going nowhere, hopefully, right? But guess what? Time is for me, time is for you, and there's some things we got to give up to go up. And I'm going to pass it to Durable in a few seconds, but I was listening to John C. Maxwell, and he said there has to be a trade-off in time. He said if you're not, when the trade-offs stop, so that's when your life plateaus. And so I said, man, that's why I've been where I've been at for the last 5, 6 years. I've plateaued. And so I noticed not going to the bar, not hanging out with the guys. I'll see you guys when I go 2 and 3 star. I'll hang out with them then and have a celebration, but then back to work to 4 star. If you're planning to go 1, 2, 3, 4, there's 10 stars now, y'all. That's on the table. on the table for everybody that's listening and watching this right now. But the trade-off is going to be sacrifice a little bit over here to gain a little bit over here. And so no trade-off, you'll stay plateaued and not moving at all. Back to you, Daryl.
Roger, I was going to say something because you said something that kind of stuck out to me. Is that your sacrifice was giving up drinking, which is a social activity for you. So it's not even something that is like predominant in your life. So it's, for me, that sacrifice ain't even large enough for you because it's so social. It's random. It's not something you do every single day or something you can't live without. So it's the same thing I tell my team. Like, you have to think about something that you absolutely would fold over if you don't have or don't participate in.
Well, that's
like
going
that,
to the bar. That's when I drink. When I go to the bar. So.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is even just you going into the bar, you're not going every single day or you're not going every single week, and it's social. It for you, it could even be seasonal, right? It could be football season only. So again, being social means that it's on rare occasion. It's not something you do every day. You don't have bottles hanging around in your house. So maybe that's not large enough for you, which is why you still feel like you're plateauing. It's the same thing I said. Sometimes we have to self-identify, right? We got to think about, like, is that really hard enough for me? Like, is that, like, what is detrimental enough for me to stop doing long enough for me to get to my goal? Or if I don't hit my goal, I can't do without it. So I need to get that to. And when I tell you, I heard some real interesting stuff from my team as I was coaching them through this, and they gave me their sacrifices. I heard everything from sex to chocolate. I mean, it was all kind of stuff in between. But what I'm saying is you got to think about what is that ultimate sacrifice? People make excuses because that makes them feel comfortable with whatever decision that they've thought up in their brain to give to somebody else to justify why they can't do something. That's why when you hear that statement, your excuses don't excuse you, because they don't. The obstacle is still going to be there. So you justifying or making an excuse, how does that resolve it? How do you get over it? Because if you can't sit down and say, listen, here's what my issue is, and then maybe get some insight on how you can kind of move past that. Most people are so stubborn because they're grown. And I always say this, adults are so challenging, right? They don't want to ask for help. They don't want to disclose certain things, so they feel like somebody's going to judge them or look at them with like they got 3 eyeballs. But at some point, you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't know how to get over that hump, you got to talk to somebody to get some coaching to get you through it. It ain't going to ever be easy, because if it would, everybody would be doing it or everybody would be a director. So at some point, we got to figure out, like, what is it we want from the business that we're a part of? And if it's really and truly for your family, regardless of how you feel, because you get up and go to work and don't feel well for your family, allegedly, but we know it's for that check that's constant, that you know is going to come, but you got to go to work to get it. So why won't you do this long enough for you to be able to say, oh, I see what the money is. I get it. It makes sense to me now, right? They're not connecting themselves in the spaces. They're not plugging into the things that's going to help them to grow. And everything is an excuse. Oh, I can't join a call at that time because I got this. Oh, I can't be at this event because I got that. So that's what I would say to that. I just want people to think about their sacrifices and think about, is that a large enough sacrifice? Is whatever you're sacrificing, how much weight does that hold in your day-to-day life?
I know it's not every day, but I know I was going to watch the Steelers play for 20 plus years, and it was hard for me to go, stop, shut that down and go up to Philadelphia with Mr. E and Mr. Scott. And I got some other stuff that I'm not disclosing, but I know within myself where I have to sacrifice to take myself next level. And I've sat down and gone over some things, not just by myself, but with my son and with Mr. Cliff as well, while we're up in Philadelphia. Where,
but look, at the end of the day, I gotta mess with you, Rod, because we pride ourselves in keeping it 1,000 on this here show. We ain't all that political correct stuff. We shoot straight from the hip. You can't come over here and give, as what Daryl just eloquently described, as you gave the easy peasy, the little lightweight. We trying to help free some folks, and you kind of, in retrospect, you basically said out of, and I ain't doing the math, but it's 24 hours in the day times 7, whatever that number is, right? And you basically saying that on a Sunday, maybe even in a Monday, there's about 4 to 5 hours probably that you wasting on some socializing, right? With the football, because the football game ain't that long nowhere.
It's more like 7.
Okay, well, look, that's still one day out of the 7 days in the week that
Right. That's not. I said I didn't disclose the other things I was doing.
I know. So I guess what I'm saying is that's why that helpful piece of information right there don't necessarily help the person that's because we're talking about daily activities, right? That daily grind, that daily income producing activity. What can I be doing daily? What do I need to sacrifice daily, like consistently? So football isn't even consistent, right? Football is here for a little bit and it's gone. Your team playing for a little bit, and if they suck like they do, they won't be in the playoffs anyway. So that's not consistent, right? So that sacrifice that you're talking about making ain't even a consistent sacrifice. We looking for, or the suggestions are, as Darryl was saying, those ones when you do that deep self-reflection, and maybe you want to say, look, man, that one out, I can't even share with y'all, but I got to sacrifice it. But it's something that is
let me share
away from your time, right? Because we got 24 hours in the day. So for the people listening, the sacrifice needs to be something included into your daily regimen that has something to do with how I'm moving and operating. Like when we suggest that if you can't say I got these hours as my business hours, then you need to be sacrificing small 15-minute increments of time throughout the course of the day. Now, obviously, you need to know what you should be doing for those small 15-minute times. But if I can't sacrifice 3 hours here, then I can at least start sacrificing my lunch, because I take lunch every day, right? So if I'm eating lunch every day at the table with the groups of people or in front of the TV or however you typically eat lunch, then you probably should be sacrificing that to a degree. Maybe now I don't do lunch the way I was doing it. Now I'm saving money, and I'm sitting in my car for those 30 minutes doing lunch, and I'm doing some of the income producing activities that a coach or a mentor has suggested to me to do. But the sacrifice gonna have to first start with me peeling back that time. I told people not too long ago, when addressing those time issues, at the end of the day, 24 hours in the day. So at some point, once you saying you done with all of your crap for the day, you wind it down, getting ready to go to sleep. And then at some point, when it's time for you to start that mundane day over again, you got your alarm clock set to get up, or you getting up at whatever time you do. The sacrifice might have to be for this person or these persons that you are now going to bed later. So you sacrificing some sleep every day. I'm going to bed after the kids is down and I'm tired. So what? This is my part-time, whatever. Or vice versa. I'm normally getting up at 5. Well, now I'm getting up at 3:30. Or now I'm getting up at 4. Or whatever that time is for you. Y'all just seen E.T. last year at the thing. This dude said some years ago, I get up every morning at 3:30 in the morning to start producing content every day. The reason why he's the #1 inspirational, motivational speaker in the world is because this dude got 3 years worth of content straight, because every morning, like clockwork, he's going to get up and produce 4 or 5 videos for his profession. But he's waking up extra early because life is lifing with him. He's married, he got kids, his wife was has some health issues. So life was lifing for him. So couldn't make no excuse other than, you know what, I'm gonna start getting up earlier, because that's the only way it can get done. And 3:30 was the time that he allotted. So my suggestion is, some of y'all, I can see based on the non-bags under your eyes that y'all getting too much sleep, and you still only a bronze builder, or you still only a whatever your position is, and you're not happy with that, or you still haven't booked your first trip yet, or completed the certifications in the back office, but you're getting plenty of sleeps at night. Let's move on. Yeah, they get sleeps at night. Right?
Yeah, so what I was getting across though, because life is life and differently for everybody. So everybody has something that they can sacrifice during the day, during the week, during the month, during the year. That's going to help them move forward in their business. And TV is one of them. So guess what? Guess what's on television? Not just on Sunday. It's on television on Monday. It's on television on Thursday. Now it's on Friday. It's football. So that was it for me. But I agree that everyone has a different life is life for themselves. So there's some people that they can't get away from.
So you need to sacrifice that 65-inch TV that's in the front room.
That's maybe
see. So your advice shouldn't have been them Steelers in football. You just need to unplug the TV.
Well, I told you I was going out to watch the games, but what I'm trying to share with you is I'm speaking for, like you said, the folks that are watching, right? So the folks that are watching, there's some people that won't give up Power, Empire, whatever other shows that come on television night, the news. I said earlier, we got to sacrifice some time. And at the top of this, what's the word, Wednesday, there's some things that we got to give up, right? There's got to be a trade-off. And so whatever that trade-off is for you, you know what that trade-off is. You know that, okay, on Monday when you get off work, what evenings is the evenings like for you, Tuesday, Wednesday, every day during the week, you know what time that you have to work your business. And if you haven't done a three-way call, if you haven't been prospecting, if you haven't been in your back office, see, some people haven't opened their back office yet. They've been in business for a year, right? And so again, there are things that we can do.
Right? They ain't got time to get to their back office.
Everybody got the same 24 hours in a day, right? We all got the same 24 hours. There's a reason why Daryl Jenkins is 2 jackets and somebody else is not. There's a reason why Daryl's a 3-star, reason why you 2-star, reason why I'm 1-star and other people aren't. We all got the same 24 hours. It's what we all do within that 24 hours.
And Daryl is still watching the news. I'm still going to watch Power. But I have developed systems and frequencies to get the desired result. There's a way for when you, and I think, and I'm gonna separate myself from this, but I'm gonna also include myself. A part of what I expressed to some people the other day is if you do not have systems and things, processes in place, a lot of what we're doing is going to feel like it is a far stretch. And it is because we have to now know from a bird's eye view how to get into that organization and get what it is that we need. And I was talking to, I think it was a DIT who has a very aggressive goal to go 1-star. And I was saying that all sounds great. But the reality is if you can't get them to do what you need them to do, you're still going to be looking at getting them to try to do it. So now you got to go back and think about all of these different creative ways you can create the momentum inside of this organization and get what you need from these people who now your next position relies on. How do you do that? And so, at Eagle Weekend, Mr. Bradley asked about, that I think it was a fair conversation to talk about if you want to be a high paid income earning director, should you be booking travel? Or do you have time to book travel? And I said, I think it's an unfair conversation to have because the reality is you give me an opportunity to earn 8 checks. I want all 8. I'm not separating the income. I want everything you're going to put on the table for me. Why did you put it there if you didn't want me to go get it? Now, there is a philosophy behind that statement, though. When you're in that race, in that hunt to go get to that next level, you do have to shift gears. But this is not saying that people who in this opportunity are looking at book and travel for tomorrow. My 2025 calendar, and I told y'all this probably 3 years ago, I forecast my business. So my calendar for 2025 is already open and filling. I'm not waiting. So guess what I'm doing in 2025? Collecting final payments and sending travel documents. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, we're working on closing out 4-star. So you have to have a vision for how you want to be able to manage all of those things that you want. But if you can't sit down and write out the plan and identify what that looks like, the distractions are going to be distractions. The life is going to be lifing. The time that you invest in your business that you feel tired, because I'm up at 7:30 every morning and make sure that the team is on the IMV and probably don't go to bed until 10:30. I remember telling Preston, this was like 2-3 weeks ago. I had 12 Zoom calls at work in one day. I had 2 welcome calls with some new business partners and a few coaching calls with goal builders all on the same day. And I had went to go lay down to take a nap on a Tuesday to get up for Damien's presentation at 5:30. I took a nap at 5:30. I got up, it was 9:30. I missed the whole presentation because I was so exhausted. But people don't see that behind the scenes because all they see is you're constantly going. But you're going with an intention to hit a goal. And sometimes you wear yourself out. Sometimes the people who have a goal, they're too comfortable in the space. And they're not all over the place inserting themselves in these pockets where they got to get to, touching the people who you got to get orange juice out of lemons inside of your organization. I got directors in training that's trying to get the 1-star. So guess what, man? I'm here, I'm there, I'm on these presentations, these launch calls, doing these welcome calls. You got to be everywhere, almost everything to everybody. And so it is tiring and taxing on your body. And at some point, you are going to feel it. But you got to keep going.
And it's worth it too.
You listen, you got to keep going because you do all of the work now. So later, I tell people all the time, like, don't mistake it. Like, at the end of the day, like, I did this 8 years ago. I know what y'all going through. I've been through all of this. And then when I got the 1-star, going to 2-star wasn't easy. And going from 2 to 3 sure the hell wasn't easy. And guess what? That huge stretch from 3 to 4 is even worse. But when I sat down and I analyzed what it's going to take for us to get the 4-star and who the key players were and what I needed, it's game on now. Because now I figured it out.
Well, look, y'all, right now, y'all scaring some folks. I can see it across their forehead, right? We supposed to be helping them out with, okay, how to do this in spite of lifing, right? And look, y'all always smacking them upside the head with that part, right? Listen, what we want to do now is give the folks, Daryl, you were speaking about the systems. When life is life, and I think about people, especially when they say that stuff, that means they're under some type of pressure, right? The pressure of life, right? And obviously, you want to become like the diamond shining bright, you need to go through some pressure. You ain't getting no diamonds without no pressure, right? Some people handle pressure differently. There's some systematic approaches that, Daryl, you have to when you got 19,000 things on your plate. Life be life, and the person gonna say, look, my plate is too full. I can't, oh my God, right? But y'all are saying, well, listen, it's gonna be worth it on the end, keep on going. People coming from different backgrounds, they're not cut like that. So the question is, just like in building your team from a network marketing standpoint, we have a PS3 system, right? When you start getting hit with all this nonsense, we can go back and say, you should be using this system to help you up with all of this pressure. So when a person is experiencing the pressures of life, they're going through whatever. Yeah, I know I got to manage my time. I know I got to do this. All those things you're saying, I know, but I'm dealing with the pressures of life. I got this person hollering at me over here. I got the kids. I got bills. I got so on and so forth. And you telling me to keep it moving and make it to the meeting, and then maybe I'm pissed. So what is your systematic approach? Either one of y'all. What is it that you do when life is lifing? And I'll tell you guys what I do sometimes. But when life is lifing, however it's coming, how do you get yourself, because it's also 90% mental, how do you get yourself back focused, on track to continue being two jackets, right? Somewhere around Zoom number 11, you was frustrated, bent out, probably ready to cuss somebody out, but you got on the next one and did the coaching call and the so-and-so and figured out a way to make a plate and eat. What are those go-to things? Roger might put on some music and hit the punching bag or something. What do you guys do that can help a person be successful when life is life?
Well, I'll say this: in the morning time, Daryl said, we have the vitamin, the IV call every morning at 8:00. Should be listening to that. Something that I do after that is I listen to some type of personal development. As I shared with you all earlier at the top of this Zoom, is I was listening to John C. Maxwell. When I'm in my car, I turn my car into a university on wheels, and I'm listening to something positive versus listen to the boom bop boom bop. Now I love go-go music, right? But I listen to at least 30 minutes a day of something positive to keep my mind right when life is lifing. It takes me away from, if I have a situation going with my daughter or my son and I got to help them do something and it's challenging, because we all have challenges. And if you're not having no challenges, you can't grow without them. So challenges are good, y'all. So, but anyway, I'm listening to Les Brown, listening to Jim Rohn, Willie Jolly, Mark Victor Hansen, Connie Podesta. I mean, I go on and on about, the people that I listen to on a regular basis. And I think personal development is really important because, listen, if you're thinking about growing a network, you got to be personally developed, because again, you're dealing with different personalities. And when you're personally developed, guess what? Now you're able to say, oh, this is how you do this and this is how you do that. And you can lead some people to where you're headed to. Everybody need to know where you're going anyway, right? If you have one person on your team and they don't know your vision, where you're headed to, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Everyone should know where you're headed. And then during the week time, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, that's when I become a professional inviter. I'm inviting people to these events those 3 days during the week. And so when life is lifing, and keep in mind, it's not just for you, it's for the prospect. You don't have to be on the Zoom. So what happens is a lot of you are not inviting people because you can't be on it. It's not for you. Now, it's for you if you're still learning, and we all still should be learning. But if you just can't be on it because life is lifing, still invite, because we still going to work every day. Life is life, so we can still invite someone to these Zooms and to the Thursday night meetings if you're in this marketplace. So that's just what I have on the table for me.
I'm gonna give you my perspective, and it's very different than Rogers because, as you mentioned, if your plate is already full, I'm not adding more stuff. So in between, at Zoom call number 11, when I feel like I'm becoming annoyed because I didn't got hangry from not being able to eat in between, like literally back-to-back Zooms, not having a breather, I walk out of my home office and across to my bed, and I lay there in silence for about 15 minutes. And I need to now regain the strength to remember why I'm doing it all. I'm looking at helping more people become one-star directors, creating legacies for their families. I'm looking at becoming a six-figure ring earner in the next 6 months. I'm looking at going 4-star director, increasing that bonus on the first of the month in 2025. So there's things that I'm looking at that I know if I own the traditional business, setting those benchmarks and thresholds for me to work towards in terms of goals and sales and revenue, they still have to get met regardless of what I'm feeling. So I use that as the inspiration and motivation to keep me going. And then again, as I said, once you figure out those key players, those movers and shakers that are going to move with you, that see the vision that Roger mentioned, that's going to make everything that much more easier, because Mr. Bradley talks about all the time, developing more leaders, not just people. He wants people who are able to think and lead as leaders should, which makes it easier for us to be able to get through all those challenges, because now I can same wavelength as myself. It's no different than when Mr. Scott is not there. He trusts the Platinum Network with us. So if we can step in to fill his shoes, he don't have to think twice and not know that his folks are going to be taken care of. So I think sometimes just thinking about what it is that we have on the table, what's at stake, and what our why is. If your why is really for your family and securing that legacy, sometimes that moment of decompression is going to help you to revive yourself.
A moment of decompression. I like that. So Roger, if y'all was listening, Roger said he gonna listen to something when he's feeling like life is life and all that weight is on his shoulders. He gonna listen to something inspirational, motivational. Like they say, This business is 90% mental, 10% everything else, right? So working on that mental and decompressing. I like that because some of y'all need to step out of the environment or the situation that you're in that's causing you that extra stress and extra pressure, or it's just pulling away from you and not giving you nothing. Some of y'all got some relationships and some friendships that's just constantly pulling and taking and tugging from you and not giving you anything. And then you too burnt out at the end of the day to do anything for this business. And then you need to do what Two Jackets just said, let's go ahead and decompress. And decompressing don't take all day. Decompressing don't take all week, all weekend, all month, because you done been through. It's called going through, not parking and pitching. We all go through some stuff. My encouragement to you guys is to treat this business. This will help you when life is lifing. You treat this business like it is a legitimate multi-million-dollar business. You treat this business not like a hobby and like a business. And see, if you start treating this business like a business from the beginning, you'll start doing some things, some preventive maintenance type things, because you and I both know, or you all know, that life is going to continue to be lifing as long as we're living, right? So we know this. We know this time next year, we will have gone through something with the kids or the car or the job or the something. You know it's going to happen. It happens every year. If we're treating this business like a business, we're doing some of the things that Daryl was talking about. We're looking and we're finding, we're delegating, we're putting people in position, right? That the trustworthy people. This is your own business, so I can work with people that I want to work with, right? So I would be putting people in position now, right? What they say, you take care of the daggone roof when the sun shines, not when it's raining, right? You know it's gonna rain, so why not take care and make some provisions now for your business, so that when you get sick, because if you one of those types of people that every year you get the flu or every year you get something and you down for a couple of weeks, if you was planting seeds in your business when the sun was shining, then you probably have 2 or 3 clients that are always booking from you. You have 2 or 3 business partners that got more time on their hands and might even be more healthy than you. They don't even never get sick. Now they're on your team. Now they're the equivalent of the person working in your restaurant when you're too sick to come there. But it doesn't matter because Keisha's going to open the door. Bobby's going to sweep the floor. Johnny's dropping fries. Kim back there making, you got people in position because it's a business. And that's what you would do with a business. But when it's a hobby and when it's one of them little things, you're not even thinking like that. Daryl's talking projections. That's, again, treating this like it's a business. That takes me to this thought right here. Top 10 distinctions between millionaires and middle class, right? This is one of those things that will help you while life is lifing. Because if we are thinking like the millionaires and the non-poor and middle class, if we're thinking in that fashion, then the things that we're doing throughout the course of the day or the week or the year are usually going to be long-term stuff. We're thinking about things that are long-term decisions that we're making, right? Daryl is thinking about 2025, 2027, right? We're building this business right now for 10 years from now. So I can't quit. I can't go get that extra nap in when I know I need to do X, Y, and Z. And if I do, consequences is coming right behind it. Because life gonna be lifing. And when you use the life gonna be lifing as an excuse or as the crutch or as your safety net, you telling your team, your business partners, and everyone else that, hey, it's kind of your out. Like when a person tell you they might come to your party, I'm gonna try to come through. They already giving you an out just in case. Oh, well, the dog got sick. I told you I was gonna try to come through. It speaks to your lack of commitment when we keep talking about life is life. Because unless you're talking to a dead person, ain't life lifing for me too, Roger?
Absolutely.
You telling me something I don't know? Life is lifing. I know life is still lifing, but we both still here. neither one of us is dead. And I'm seeing people in this company make money while life is lifing physically, not just mentally, but physically. Like people can't walk, can barely talk, and struggling with the cares of this world and genetics and whatever else, and still, in spite of, figuring it out, developing what Mr. Scott was talking about this weekend, competence. That's something else. And you guys can touch on this if you want to over these last couple of minutes that we got. I believe that this is one of the things that prohibits people from growing successfully in their business is because you don't have the competence in your business. Therefore, you don't have confidence in your business. And if you don't have competence or confidence in your business, then your belief system in this business is about at a zero. And you're not going to make more money. You're not rising above your belief system. You don't even believe. You don't believe that this business can change your life. And you don't believe the business can change your life or somebody else's life because you don't have the competence. That means you haven't gotten the smarts or the systematic approaches or the book smarts or whatever else that Daryl was talking about that you need in the beginning. You haven't sacrificed to get the competence. And then you got to sacrifice acting on what you learned to get the confidence. Meaning I'm going to keep doing this thing repetitively. That's how come Two Jackets got Two Jackets. He kept doing the same mundane thing repetitively, gained his confidence and competence. You can't tell him nothing now. And he did this while life was lifing. From off the break, he said, I'm finna get all y'all finna teach me how to do what? I'm finna get it. And he didn't let his sponsors stop him from getting the information. It wouldn't have mattered who signed him up. It wouldn't have mattered if he had a coach that could talk English or Spanish or not, because he paid his same $200 like everybody else. And Daryl went straight after, let me get the knowledge. Let me get the rules to the game. I was telling my team last night, y'all know how to play checkers. How long before, how many L's you taking in the checker game?
We're gonna go back before checkers. They know Uno and spades, right?
Uno and
Easy
spades.
rules, right? You learn it,
Simplistic
you can
ones.
run with it.
And how many L's you taking though? And you got the learning curve. Okay, you beat me a few times because I ain't even know how to play. But if you got an ounce of competitive spirit, you can finna learn how to play. Even if the person who is playing with you ain't trying to teach you the rules of the game. I'm okay, here go the box. I'm gonna figure it out myself. And then we're gonna keep playing till I win. Now, once I get one win or one good hand, now the confidence is there. And then now we just keep doing that same thing. I'm encouraging you with my closing remarks. I'm gonna let y'all get y'all closing ones in. I'm encouraging you to build up your competence in this business. Learn you something new about this business and this industry. Then act on it. And when you act on it, you're going to get some confidence because you can't get it wrong, right? So act on that. You're going to get the confidence, going to build your belief system. Then you're going to be rocking. I can change your life too because you understand it's mental first. You got to be rich up here before you can be rich in your pockets. Then my closing remarks on how we can help you with this life is life. And go ahead. What you got, Mr. Lillard?
And something else, you can overcome, you kind of stole my thunder a little bit, but you can overcome the lack of competency and the lack of confidence in your activity. Mr. Bradley said, and piggybacking off something you said earlier, Eric, the holidays is coming. So you're getting the holidays. I call it TNT. People start thinking about turkeys and toys, right? And so during that time frame, guess what Mr. Bradley says he does? And I learned this weekend. First and foremost, if you don't know that Bradley is a representative in planning marketing, also the CEO. So he's building too as a CEO, which is huge because he's not making no excuses during the holidays. He said, well, during Thanksgiving, when everyone's here eating turkey, right, and watching football games, he going to the UK. And then Christmas time, when everyone's opening gifts and stuff, he going to Ireland because he knows the country slows down, and to keep his numbers moving, he's going outside of the country, right? Last but not least, in closing, I just want to say to everybody, you have to have rhino skin. You have to have that. You cannot, and this is why some of us allow life to be lifing on us because we're concerned about what somebody else thinks about what we're doing. I don't give a hoot. I'm going to share this opportunity. And if you say yes, great. If you say no, great. But give me an answer. You can't be afraid to share the opportunity because you're afraid of a no. And if you're afraid of getting rejection, you're going to struggle in this business. That's part of life is life. Like we're so afraid that somebody's going to say no to us. Please give me that no. Matter of fact, if you give me a no, I'm going to ask you, who do you know? 2 or 3 people that if they saw this opportunity, would they be interested? And then if they don't know that, then can I book your trip? And if I can't book your trip for you, I'm moving on. So at the end of the day, don't let others stop you from doing what you're doing. So you stop doing what you're doing because you're concerned about what they're going to say, what they're going to think. And now you letting life get in the way just because of your fear. Go ahead, Daryl.
I'm going to start where Roger ended. Don't let people's decisions stunt your success. Think about when you walk into these brand new restaurants that just opened, you look at the menu on the reader board and you try to figure out what it is you want to purchase to support this new business that just opened in your neighborhood. And then you decide, I ain't never tasted nothing. I don't know if I want to spend $18 on a wing platter. I don't know what it's going to taste like. And you leave. Did they close their doors? They didn't. Because at the end of the day, they own a traditional business. So they thinking like a business owner. Guess what? We got to keep going. It's a guy that got a food truck that's around in Waldorf and Clinton and in DC, and he sell fish. Guess what? If somebody tells him that the fish needed more seasoning, he went right back and came to social media and said, I thank you for telling me. He didn't shut up shop and say he ain't selling no more fried fish. No, he went back and made the corrections and adjustments.
That's good.
And now guess what? He's selling more fish because now people liking it and they telling people. The thing that I learned in this business is coming in with no expectation, not having a clue of what it is I was going to do or where I wanted to go. My competency grew, which created some consistency, which then, of course, built confidence and now led me to the currency. At some point, you got to put all of those things into perspective as you're thinking about where you want to go in your business.
Hey, and I didn't take. You got to rewind that back, man. Competence. Hold up. The three C's. E.
Now that was 4 C's he gave you. He gave you 4 C's. Yeah, I was listening. Took notes on that one. That's the whole thing right there.
Yeah, because the thing is you got to think about it in that regard. Like, yeah, people who can do it because somebody is something to do. I need for them to really think about a 1099 opportunity. When I was training 300, I told them I get them 3 goals. Their first 3 goals, the first one is to earn your first $600 in commission to earn that 1099 NEC. That there solidifies you with the Internal Revenue Services, the IRS. They now know that you mean business and you're working this thing like it's a business with the intent to turn a profit. Their second goal was to earn their first $5,000 because now the industry of travel recognizes you as a true travel professional. You've earned $5,000 in a 12-month period. And that third one is to earn $10,000 in travel commissions so that they can become what's considered a pinnacle agent with IntelliTravel. That is where I currently am now in New Orleans for our pinnacle top agent training event, where you have to, the minimum threshold for commissions earned is $10,000. They need to have some goals, something to work towards. Same thing in Planet Marketing. You see it in the presentation: bronze, silver, gold, DIT, 2020, 40/40, 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. And then, of course, you get a ring, right? You go 4-star, 5-star, you get a Rolex watch. These are things that you're looking for to check off the boxes on. Those are the goals. Those are the benchmarks. What are you working towards?
Woo. That was deep. I ain't saying nothing else behind that one. Two Jackets, the travel oracle has spoken. Y'all don't need to hear
Competency,
nothing else.
consistency. What was the other two? Currency was what's the third one?
No, you said competency, consistency.
Consistency.
That's going to equal to the confidence.
Confidence.
And
There you
then
go.
that's going to equal to the
Currency.
Listen, that's
The 4
sweet
C's.
right there. We're going to be right back here on First Wednesday again. We're doing this every first and third Wednesdays. We appreciate you. We're going to have them technical difficulties figured out. Facebook be tripping, so we are always going to be live on YouTube. That's rather simple. But trying to go into the group, sometimes it's tricky. We're going to have it figured out on this next go around, so we'll be live in both sections. But tell your friends and family to come on, join you, and take a look at what we got going on. Now I'm looking for the daggone our little outro music, and we can get out of here. Hey. Maybe not. But we'll be back either way. First Thursday. We still sticking around. We'll be right back first and third Wednesdays.
Deuce.